Okay, so second full workout coming up. So I filmed 5 rounds here. What we got coming up first is a goblet split squat. What I'm going to do here throughout the rounds is going to show a few variations of different movements. So if we don't have equipment to scale it back, or if we want to make it more challenging, there's things we can do for that too. So I'm trying to do here, you can see the back heel never touches the floor. That's one common thing I see with people is they twist their hips to get that back heel to touch the ground. Don't need to do that. Try here, if we're doing a goblet variation too, is to I guess keep tucked or tight to the midline, but I'm not overarching my lower back. I'm trying to squeeze the glute at the top. Vertical front shin, not great here, but trying to work on it. Got to set my watch. The whole thing took a little over 15 minutes. And there's Lil in the background. Absolutely uninterested, couldn't give a shit about what I'm doing. So RDL next. So you can see here I'm trying to push my bum back. So that kettlebell, and I kind of say this in classes too, and you can kind of see it here. That kettlebell should kind of fall pretty much between my feet. I think a lot of people try and have the kettlebell way in front of their toes, and that's going to put a lot more stress or strain or effort at least through the lower back. So you're hip hinging here, you're really pushing your bum back. Knees bend a little bit, but it's the hip hinge, the waist is really bending. And glutes to the top as well, don't lean back. Trying to say hello to the cat, she couldn't give a shit. So push-ups coming up. Again, what I'm trying to do here is nose touching the floor. So just to try and get full range. Again, I always get shocked when I see the arch in my lower back when I do this. I don't know, 30 years of bad habits, I guess. But again, I probably could be a little more switched on my core here. Again, nose to floor. And if we're struggling with these, I'd probably try and do push-ups on a bench or a table or something. I don't know, like a bit of an angle at least, because I think push-ups on the knees don't really transfer. Or even just do dips. So I'm on to the long lever bridge here, and again what I'm trying to do is set my watch for 30 seconds, trying to really tuck the hips under again, so that kind of flat or that posterior tilt in the hips. And what I try and do here to actually really engage the hamstrings too is digging my heels into the ground as well. Cat basically telling me to fuck off there. So I'm going with the reverse lunge variation for this one. Again, this generally tends to put less stress on the knees than a forward lunge. So for this one, what I really want to try and do is a nice long stride back. So it's kind of easier to keep a vertical shin, the front leg on this one. Okay, probably not the best footwear. I mean, if you can do this in your socks, even in your bare feet, might be a good idea. But I guess the kind of real spongy soles in these runners are kind of making it a little bit more challenging. My feet, my ankles were rolling a little bit. You can see, I think, on one of the later reps, my back foot does something funky. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'll see it. But yeah, nice long step back. And keep the kettlebell, up towards your sternum. Don't let the kettlebell drop. I was kind of going for the 5 breaths between movements, but in some cases I kind of just went straight in. Again, depends on how you feel. You can take a longer or shorter recovery. Trying to get that kind of solid contraction at the top there to the glutes. Keep the kettlebell close to the top. Squeeze the glutes into the kettlebell. Again, having the kettlebell kind of track down in between the shins. Neutral head position too. I kind of tend to look towards the floor. Sorry, I'm slurping on some tea here. Some folks look forward. Sometimes that can cause an overarch to the lower back, but that's not really the end of the world. I'd rather see that initially than a completely rounded back. It's weird not to hear airplanes around in the sky at the moment. A little bit of an arch in the lower back. I think it's my t-shirt, but it's definitely looking like the tummy is touching the floor a lot before, say, my chest. My chest isn't touching the floor. But ideally, you kind of want the chest and the tummy touching the floor, kind of come back up at the same speed, at the same time. Again, trying to dig the heels into the ground, squeeze the glutes, tug the tummy under. Again, chin towards the chest actually I find helps to create that posterior tilt, or, you know, as I said, your bits towards your face. Best way or the quickest way to explain it. Sometimes we kind of extend our neck or look up or look back. We tend to arch our lower back. So I think even tucking your chin here, I've heard cues of like trying to squeeze a tennis ball between your chin and your chest work too, but just, you know, tuck the chin, I guess. Try and switch lunges on this variation or in this round. Again, you could do this with the weight. I haven't really done any jumping stuff in the last while on account of my knee, so I was a bit hesitant to do that. But this is definitely one way of getting the heart rate up quickly. And if you have no equipment as well, it's a good way of advancing or progressing the movement and the intensity. If you missed yesterday's workout, you could probably throw in some swings here. But for folks that are kind of newer to the gym, this can be a really good way of setting up the, I guess, the kettlebell swing, because this is essentially the bottom position of the deadlift right here, or the RDL. It's not too dissimilar to the kettlebell swing. So this is a good way of working our hip hinge. Mammy coming here for the chats. I want to see if she wants to say hello to everyone, but she passed. Maybe by the end of this I'll get her to get on camera for a guest appearance. She also fucking locked me out of the house here as well. So this just came to me on this round, just kind of, I guess, ad-libbing, but these are, I think they're dive bomber push-ups. I remember years back when I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there was some American dude selling kind of workout PDFs or something at the time. And this was his answer to absolutely everything. This was the best thing you could possibly do. I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it's another good way of just in kind of, I guess, adding a bit of intensity to the push-ups here. Find them quite easy. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm doing these 100% right, but it's just kind of a downward dog position almost. Again, sweeping down low into an up dog position. But if you have kind of cranky or you know, any kind of prior shoulder issue, maybe just skip these. Oh, nearly touched my face. I remember last second. I meant to say on the last round of these as well is when you're kind of digging your heels into the floor, try and leave your toes relaxed if you can. I know the tendency will be to kind of curl your toes up towards your knees, but trying to leave the feet fairly relaxed. Still try and push the heels down, but Don't kind of clench your toes or curl toes up or do anything funky like that. Again, it's all really from the glutes and trying to keep hips under. Back to the goblet split squat here. Another option, if you don't have any weights, is maybe do the Bulgarian split squat variation here. So you can put that rear foot up on a seat, chair, anything like that. And remember, it's roughly 3 feet from the whatever you're putting your rear foot on. The further away your front foot is, the more hamstrings and glutes. The closer your foot is, the more quads. But whenever you're doing any kind of split squat variation, Bulgarian split squat, make sure that the front foot, that the heel stays on the floor. RDL position, just keeping this simple. I kind of do single leg variations, but I think everyone could just serve to really focus on just alignment here, glutes at the top, hips under. So a lot of posterior tilts with the hips today. Again, if you missed yesterday's workout, you could probably go from say 10 RDLs here, and then maybe into 10 kettlebell swings. Didn't realize I was breathing that heavy. There you go. The heart rate was definitely a little bit higher today than yesterday. That could either be the constantly switching from kind of lying down to standing up, and also the jumping, the switch lunges tend to spike the heart rate a little bit. I'm trying to get that squeeze through the hamstrings. Fuck's sake, really breathing heavy here. So yeah, some switch lunges will definitely cure that. Said no one ever. Don't know if it was here somewhere. My back leg went really funky at one stage. No. I think it's kind of easy just to think about getting the last set done, or kind of go a little bit, not going to say lazy, but switch off a bit. But really focus on posture, and especially on the way up, just getting the glutes active, so tucking the hips under, squeeze the glutes into the kettlebell. Again, I'm not leaning back. Like, I don't want my shoulders at the top there. I don't want my shoulders to fall back behind my heels. Cat's still telling me to fuck off. full disclosure, my shoulder wasn't completely happy with those dive bomber push-ups. Hence going back to these guys. And again, if you wanted to, 10 push-ups are easy for you, just put on an extra 5 or 10 repetitions. Or you could do tempo work, clapping push-ups for an animal. I don't really care much for hand release push-ups. I think posture goes to shit in them. If you don't know what they are, don't worry about it. Again, it's hard to do, but trying to keep the toes relaxed at least while you're pushing the heels down. And that is 5 rounds. Again, you can add a few more rounds if you missed yesterday's workout, or you can give yourself a time frame. Roughly 15 minutes. Now, I did miss the very start. I missed the first set of lunges. We're coming in at probably just under 16 minutes for that for 5 rounds.